Last season ended with Everton Football Club finally qualifying for the Champions League, and today, with the transfer window reopening, we've got some serious business to take care of. And as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, I mentioned at the back end of last episode, with the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin departing when the transfer window opens to Real Madrid, and with me wanting to be ruthless and try and sell off some of my younger players who I don't believe are really going to make the cut at Everton Football Club, as well as getting rid of some rotational options who aren't exactly going to cut it at Champions League level next season, we're going to be starting Season 3 with some outgoing departures. Of course, the first being this man, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, having a wonderful career at Everton Football Club, but not really hitting the heights that I was hoping he would in this career mode. He somehow manages to get his move to the Spanish giants Real Madrid as he departs for £32.6 million. And he's going to be followed very swiftly out the door by my other backup striker, Neil Maupay, as he departs on a loan deal to Roma for the next year. However, just when I thought it might be the one striker that I'm going to need to bring in to try and compete with this man, Beto, moving into Season 3, I'm hit with an absolute shocker as the 27-year-old Portuguese has decided to submit a transfer request. Now, I've absolutely no idea where this has come from because his morale seems to be in a pretty decent spot, and when I've tried to offer him a brand new contract to try and get him back on side, he has shown no interest whatsoever. And with offers coming in from teams all over Europe, the likes of Fiorentina, Porto, and even Liverpool, whom of course I'm going to reject, much to my surprise, he has ended up being the third striker to depart the club this summer transfer window. He departs the club for pastures new in Germany as he joins Bayern Leverkusen for a fee of £50.9 million. However, when I went to check my transfer budget to see what sort of impact his departure had on what I've got to spend this summer, I was kind of left a little bit disappointed. And that is because, as you will see from my starting 11, I think the game has run into a little bit of a glitch. Frustratingly, you will see that Beto, despite him handing in a transfer request and despite him supposedly agreeing a move to Bayern Leverkusen, still remains in my squad. Judging by the transfer history, it seems that he hasn't actually left Everton Football Club. And judging by the transfer hub, it seems that he's decided to reject every single offer that has come into him. So I guess that means he's still going to be an Everton player this season. But it kind of leaves me in a bit of a pickle because I've got no idea what the future of the 27-year-old Portuguese is now going to be like. Does it mean that he's going to suddenly depart the club in January unbeknownst to me? And does it now mean that I'm going to have to bring in 2 extra strikers to try and replace him? Speaking of transfers though, with so many of you recommending so many different strikers for me to choose from, that is where I'm going to be starting for my first incoming transfer for this brand new season. And whilst there were a lot of different suggestions for me to go through, there was one in particular that stood out both to me and to several of you, as there are many of you that wanted me to bring in this particular man. He's an absolute wonder kid in real life, racking up over 70 appearances for Borussia Dortmund and finally starting to work his way into the German national team. However, on this career mode, with his career seemingly starting to stall having made the move to Union Berlin, he is very keen to finally get his much speculated move to the Premier League, as Everton are happy to welcome their first signing of the summer as Youssoufa Moukoko joins the club for a fee of £42.5 million. And not only is he an exciting prospect, but he offers us something that a lot of our other strikers just do not have, and that is absolutely electric pace and fantastic technical and physical ability. He's got flair, he's got technique, and he's got a fabulous first touch. And with us switching more to this gegenpressing style, I think he will come in, go straight into the starting 11 and fit into the team like a glove. However, as you can see, looking at the rest of the team, with me selling off some of my reserve players and some of my youngsters, I have absolutely no one aside from a backup goalkeeper in my reserves whatsoever, so I'm definitely going to have to make improvements to the rest of my squad. Moving on to the rest of the team though, and right back has been a cause for concern with me from very day one since I took over at Everton Football Club. Nathan Patterson has managed to get himself up to a 78 rated, but with only a 66 19-year-old Brian Willems being in reserve, it's a position I definitely need to improve. And so that is why I've decided to bring someone in who is of equal age and equal ability who can hopefully push him all the way. He's an Italian fullback who's starting to come through the youth ranks for his national team and starting to make his way in real life into the AC Milan setup. But similar to Moukoko, he's another young player who will be desperate to try and ply his trade and test his skills in the Premier League as Filippo Teresiano joins Everton Football Club for £19.5 million. At just 1 year the junior of Nathan Patterson, he is equal to him in terms of his rating at 78, but he does offer us a great deal of versatility, being able to play at right back, right midfield and left back as well. He's absolutely lightning in terms of his pace, plus he's got high attacking and defensive work rate. He's another player whom I think can come in and have an immediate impact on our squad heading into our Champions League campaign this season. season. Now, Ahamadou Onana and James Garner are forming a formidable partnership in the centre of midfield for me, but as you can see, they are the only two central defensive midfielders that I've got at the club at the moment. Now, with me keen to bring in quite a lot of young players to improve the overall youthful look of the squad, I think it's time to go in the opposite direction. As soon as we are moving into Champions League territory, it is time to bring in someone with a little bit more experience, and ideally experience within the Champions League proper. It's another Dane who can hopefully link up with his compatriot Mikael Damsgaard in the centre of midfield, as we will be making our third signing of the summer as we welcome Matt O'Reilly for £44.5 million. And just like his Danish counterpart, he offers us an incredible amount of versatility in the heart of my midfield. He can play centre midfield, central defensive midfield and central attacking midfield, and he's got absolutely brilliant stats to boot. Right across the board, he's got stats that improve us in all different areas, and he is signing number 3 that again will come in and immediately improve the starting 11. So 3 signings down and just £15 million left remaining in the transfer budget. We head into our first pre-season game of this new campaign against Bayern Munich in the hope that our debutants can make a great first impression, and in the hope that we can achieve something very, very special this season, both in the Premier League and in the Champions League as well. And if early signs are anything to go by, it looks like we are keen to start the season off in lightning fashion. More specifically, Hato is keen to build on what was a successful second season campaign at the club and hopefully turn himself into a world-class centre-back that many believe he can be in season 3. But if a goal from Harry Kane is anything to go by, it looks like our defensive frailties from last season are seeping over into this season as well, something we've got to get a hold of if we want to be successful. And frustratingly, perhaps Mukoku's going to need a little bit more time to settle into an Everton shirt if his shooting continues to be as wayward as it has been. However, speaking of strikers once again, we are hit with another huge shock as FIFA has decided to go back to working properly. And Beto has finally decided that now is the time, just before the brand new Premier League campaign is about to start, to up sticks and leave Everton Football Club and head out to our Premier League rivals Tottenham Hotspur for a fee of £50.9 million. And so with my transfer budget going back up now to £62 million, it looks like Youssoufa Moukoko is not going to be the only striker to join the ranks here at Everton this season. And so that means it's time to turn to another man who is in high demand, and another man who several of you are desperate for me to sign. And that is the 22-year-old Dutchman currently plying his trade at Ajax and currently starting to make waves in the Dutch national team as Brian Brobby joins the club for £39 million. It's signing number 4, and arguably he might be the best of the lot. Yet again, he's got absolutely electrical pace, but he's got fabulous mental and technical stats to boot. He's got a powerful header, and he's someone that offers us a completely different dimension to our attack. And with him going straight into the starting 11 and having the option of bringing Moukoko on off the bench, I think this season is going to be a very exciting one for all the Evertonians. And with the final departure being that of Brian Williams heading out on a season-long loan to Norwich to finally get some much-needed first-team football, and with me still having a fairly decent £23 million to spend in January should I need it, I think these players are finally ready to get down to the first game of our Premier League season. However, just as we're about to do that, the board drop an absolute bomb on me, ramping up expectations just as we're about to start the new campaign, expecting me once again to finish in the Champions League places in the Premier League, expecting me to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup, and expecting me to get to the quarter-finals of the Champions League in our first season in the competition. It is finally time, though, to turn the lights back on at Goodison Park, to dust off the cobwebs, and for the Evertonians to get a glimpse of our brand new 4 summer signings as we start off our campaign at home in front of our own fans against West Ham United in what is going to be a huge and exciting clash at Goodison Park. The first new game of the season means a return to my strongest starting 11 and a start for 3 debutants here today. Pickford keeps his place in goal. Teresiano will start at right back with Gay, Branthwaite and Hato making up the rest of the defence. Onana is partnered by Matt O'Reilly in the centre of the park with Damsgaard playing in behind the striker. Brobby starts up front and he will be partnered by Jota and Bakayoko on either side of the attack. Mukoku will start on the bench and he will be hoping to come on, hopefully, and make a later impact as the game progresses. So here we go then. What a game and what an exciting time to be an Everton fan, and what an exciting way to kick off our opening game of the season. Marquez goes short into Onana, every single man inside the West Ham half here in the opening 5 minutes, and that is exactly how I like to see it. Onana now plays it short into Matt Riley. Matt Riley's got space on the right hand side to pick out the other debutant, Teresiano. He cuts it back back into O'Reilly. He shapes up to hit it with his left. What a strike, what a save. In the opening 10 minutes here, we have started this game on fire. Jonathan David now for West Ham, goes into Lucas Paquetá, plays a nice ball into Malero, and he plays it right the way over to the right-hand side to an unmarked Jared Bowen, who cuts it back into Jonathan David, goes short to Paquetá. What a save from Jordan Pickford, and it's hacked clear by Mark Gay. Well, end-to-end stuff here in the opening 15 minutes. Either team could score, and both teams look like they're going to score each time they go forward here, as Bakayoko now is going to be the man to try and drive down this right-hand side. Doesn't really have too many options, and hasn't got the pace to get away from the defender, so plays it inside. Brian Brobby's first opportunity now to stretch his legs and plays a wonderful ball over to Hato, who strikes. Oh my word, that is the strike of a defender. Gets it all wrong. Mavropanis, oh, he's been chased down by Brian Brobby. Exactly the sort of pressure that I was hoping he could bring to the team. He's tussling and he wins it back in a really dangerous position. Plays it short into Bakayoko. He shifts it onto his left and strikes. Goes out for a corner, and it's one that Jota is going to take. Let's not forget the impact that this man had. He seems to have gone under the radar since all the new signings have come in, and it is one of those new signings, Matt Riley, who heads it high and wide. Damsgaard now to bring it forward. Plays it into the path of Bakayoko. Feeds it in, looking for Brobby, and it was well defended in the end. He was inches away from getting on the end of that one. O'Reilly now. Everton pressing forward exactly the way I would have wanted us to. Damsgaard under a bit of pressure. Wriggles away from it though. Finds Hato unmarked on the left-hand side. Throws it in. Oh my word. Mavropanis. What a block that was, as Brian Brobby was clear there. Damsgaard through the centre into Bakayoko. He finds Brian Brobby, who again has picked up a nice little pocket of space. Manages to wriggle away from the challenge and just strikes it wide. He's getting closer. Mark Gay right the way over into the path of Hato. Really nicely done. And it is all Everton here. Brian Brobby, lovely little layoff. He dinks it into Jota, who looks for Bakayoko at the back post. Once again, West Ham get away with it, but it falls to Anano. Nods it down to Hato again. He'll get a second bite of the cherry to try and throw it back in. He will throw it back in. This time he finds Damsgaard, who absolutely lashes it on the volley into the top left-hand corner, right on the stroke of half-time. That is a sensational goal and a sensational way to start off Season 3. Well, we've been knocking and knocking and knocking at the door, and finally we knock it down right on the stroke of half-time. What a ball, what a volley, what a finish. Absolutely electric here in Goodison Park. The fans have gone wild, and rightly so. What a goal to give us a 1-0 lead. Well, we couldn't have asked for a better performance in the opening 45 minutes, and we couldn't have asked for a better finish to the half. One goal to our name, and we're going to be hoping we can double that in the second. Jared Bowen tries to knock it past Hato, does knock it past Hato, but the Dutchman comes back across the cover, and that is good defending, and he gets hacked down in the process by Jared Bowen. And is the referee going to issue anything here? I think he gets away with one, you know, because I think he takes out Hato from behind. Let's see if we can check out a replay to see what happened. He lost the ball, and he made a really poor challenge there. That should have at least been a yellow. Anana into Mark Gay yet again at the start of this second half. It is every man inside the West Ham half here as Teresiano wriggles away from a challenge there, does a really good job, and now plays in Anana. Anana out to Jota. Jota into Hato. Hato to feed it across, looking for Bakayoko on the head. It falls kindly to him again, who volleys. Puts it wide though this time. It will be a corner as there was a deflection, and it is that man Bakayoko who's going to take the corner, and he's going to throw it in. Looking for the head of O'Reilly, who once again heads it high and wide, but somehow it stays in play, and somehow Anana manages to get the ball back here. Plays it into the path of Jota. Jota goes in field for Branthwaite on his right. Good strike in the end, but the keeper makes it look easy. Short into Branthwaite. This is absolutely brilliant play from Everton. A brilliant, brilliant way to start this campaign. It's Brian Brobby who turns on his left, goes past two defenders. That is absolutely stunning from the new striker. He celebrates with the rest of the players, and rightly so. That was a brilliant way to open your Everton campaign. He had the strength to hold off the challenge of the defender. He had the technique to turn, and he had the composure and the strength to power a strike past the goalkeeper to double our lead. It's 2-0. Mark Gay short into Anana. This is absolutely brilliant from Everton. We are just playing this West Ham team off the park. It's fed into Brobby. Brobby for his second. Oh, he just puts it wide. Lucas Paquetá into Souček. He's going to try and see if he can get away from the challenge of Matt Riley. Does manage to wriggle away from it though, but West Ham going backwards, and West Ham giving the ball away here to the substitute Moukoko. He's got the pace to drive away from the defenders here, goes into the box, hits it with his left. What a way to introduce yourself to the Everton faithful. That is exactly the reason why I brought him to the club in the first place. On as a substitute, and he makes an immediate impact within about the first 5 minutes of coming on the field. Well, the press was high and West Ham just didn't know what to do with it. In the end, they gave it away cheaply, and Moukoko had the pace and the legs to get away from a tired West Ham defence, and look at that from a finish. Absolutely buried it into the top right-hand corner. It's 3-0. Well, what a start to our Premier League campaign. We really couldn't have asked for anything better. That man getting on the score sheet on his debut. It's 3 goals and it's 3 points as we beat West Ham at full time, 3-0. 3-0. Mukoku comes on as a substitute and gets a goal on his debut. Brian Brobby led the line fantastically and gets a goal on his debut. And here's Mikkel Damsgaard finally starting to come of age. A fabulous performance and an even better goal to kick off his campaign here in Season 3. And our campaign starts with a fabulous 3 goals, a fabulous 3 points as we rocket straight to first place in the Premier League. And as we head straight into our next game, this time away from home at Brighton, we are going to be hoping to keep up this positive momentum and keep up what has been a fabulous start to our Premier League campaign. Another 3 points will do very nicely, and another 3 goals will do even better. No surprise to see that there are no changes to that starting 11 that absolutely hammered West Ham at Goodison Park. Let's go and see if we can do the same thing here today against Brighton. Now Pedro for Brighton, trying to see if they can hit us on the counter-attack. Matoma, who is of course their danger man and their main man in their attack, picks it up and plays it out to Miguel on the left-hand side, but Teresiano wins it and somehow manages to keep it in play, and now he drives down the right-hand side. The Italian, there is just no stopping him at the moment. He's got the pace to get away from the defenders, flings it into the box. He was looking for some sort of option. Jota was inches away from getting on the end of it, but what a brilliant driving run from the brand new right-back as Onana wins the ball back high. Brian Brobby once again takes it up, and Brian Brobby strikes from distance. Oh my goodness, that is a brilliant way to get your second in an Everton shirt. That is even better than his first. Well, I tell you what, the FIFA stats are saying that this man has got a bullet header, but I think he's got a bullet shot as well. The first goal was absolutely sensational. The second was even better. An absolute screamer from the edge of the box, and he gives us a 1-0 lead. Into João Pedro, blocked off by Mark Gay, and now Matt Riley to bring it forward into the path of Brobby. He plays it off to Damsgaard, and Damsgaard streaking through the centre, down the left-hand side with his left. What a strike, what a save. Well, there just seems to be no stopping us at the moment. We have the bit between our teeth, and we are well and truly in the ascendancy. He's thrown over to Brathwaite. My word, I thought he was going to go for the head. He went for the volley on his weaker foot, and the goalkeeper just about managed to get a hand to it, and we just about have another corner that Bakayoko is going to take, and he's going to float it into the box. A lot of power on that, this time looking for Mark Gay, who gets his header all wrong. Being put under pressure here, but manages to get away from it, and Jordan Pickford, so calm. That is a man in confidence, full confidence, knowing that he's got a brilliant team ahead of him. And now Damsgaard looks for the overlapping run of Matt Riley, and the other new signing wants to get in on the action here. He hits it with his left. And my word, that is the strike of a central defensive midfielder. Mark Gay, once again under pressure from the Brighton press. But once again, we managed to get away from it. We've got such composure, such confidence at the moment. And now Matt Riley's going to play it down the line into Teresiano. He's going to throw it into the box, looking for Jota at the back post. Doesn't manage to reach him, but Onana will get there on the volley. And he just skews it wide. How many chances do we need to try and double our lead here? Well, I tell you what, I am enjoying life at Everton Football Club here at the start of Season 3. We are 1.5 games in. We've got 4 goals to our name, and we've got 2 clean sheets so far. Can we double our lead here in the second half? Nice pass into Ayari. Ayari now finds Matoma, who is the danger man for Brighton. We have to hopefully try and keep him quiet, though. Brighton's starting to string a couple of passes together here and starting to get a bit more confidence. But then they go and give it away to Damsgaard, and he lays it off into the path of Brian Brobby, who's eager to add his second to the game. He does add his second, and he gets our second in the process. This man is on absolute fire, and he has got his 3rd goal of the campaign so far, and he's doubled our lead here. There is just no stopping the Dutchman. He's got such power, the defence just cannot contain him. Look at that for a strike. Too much for the goalkeeper, and too much for the back of the net, as he almost breaks the net in half. It's 2-0. Matt Riley goes central into Mukoku on as a substitute. Plays it into the path of Damsgaard, round the corner for the other substitute, McNeil, into Mukoku, and he gets his second in an Everton shirt. And once again, we've got 3, and once again is that man who's got our 3rd. He's only been on the field for 5 minutes, but he's done it again. He's absolutely ripped the Brighton defence to shreds. A beautiful finish into the bottom left-hand corner to give the goalkeeper no chance, and to give us a 3-0 lead. Mukoku has come deep to get himself involved in the play to show he's not a one-trick pony in front of goal. He can also link up and build play as well. And Mukoku now has it round the corner into Huerta. This is brilliant build-up play. Huerta on as a sub, tried to play it back into the channel. In the end, just got the pass wrong, and Bart Verbruggen was able to jump out and steal it. Brathwaite into Teresiano, who's been a revelation down the right-hand side for me in defence in these opening couple of games. Matt Riley into Damsgaard, into Huerta. Huerta on his left. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We carve Brighton open yet again for the 4th time in this game, and it's his 1st goal of the campaign this season. Absolutely everyone wants to get in on the act here in this game today, and this man is no different. A brilliant goal, and a brilliant celebration from me to boot. It's 4-0. Mitoma Now onto the edge of the box, into João Pedro strikes. João Pedro with a wonderful finish right on the edge of the box. Perhaps we fell asleep defensively right on the stroke of full time, and Brighton are able to take advantage. It's really frustrating because I thought we were going to get our second clean sheet of the campaign. It's a little bit of a warning sign that we still have some work to do defensively. As Brighton managed to get a consolation, it's 4-1. But the referee decides that now is the time to blow his full-time whistle, and to help us achieve our second win of the season, he gets 2 goals to his name once again. As the 90 minutes is up, his finish is here. Brighton 1, Everton 4. 4 brand new signings this summer transfer window. All 4 of them hitting the ground running immediately. 2 of them getting on the score sheet and immediately improving my attack. And immediately sending us top of the Premier League table. 6 points to our name, 7 goals scored. And I think we are in for a very exciting season here in Season 3. But that is going to be that for the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again next time where we are going to embark on our very first Champions League campaign with Everton Football Club.